like paddle down the sidewalk. Anyway, getting back on topic here. Let me take our break here a couple minutes early, then I'll get back on topic, all right? And try to get myself back in order. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune.
Welcome back, everyone.
Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices.
I just brought it back up.
Absolutely can't be beat. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price of Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection.
Speed looks fine to me.
Starting at just $30 for most cars.
Now we're getting in the loop.
Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445.
This is Steve Kane, and I wanted to share with you some thoughts about why I chose the Gardens of Boca Raton to be my final resting place. I have always been uncomfortable.
You guys got to be patient with me. If I'm having an internet problem, I got to worry about the radio first.
I could feel my
so just be patient. If there's like a Wi-Fi issue or a connectivity issue, some of you guys are like, well, some have been watching for years. I'm out of here. There's a problem. 4 radio stations. I can't, stop everything down, even though I kind of did.
Caring professionals available to help you in your time of need.
Earlier, I was having some internet issues.
7 days a week. Pre-need.
I had to reboot my device.
Financing is available and prevents your family from having to deal with these matters at the time of their grief and sorrow. The Gardens of Boca Raton, dedicated to all those who have lived and all those who live to.
They're gone.
Or online at thegardens.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Oh my goodness.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. I'm sorry to be crotchety. I've had a couple things. I was talking yesterday in the first hour of yesterday's show. I had a little personal crisis I was dealing with during the show, and that's but that's okay. Maybe that'll make it a more interesting call now that everyone knows I don't like Tony. Oh yeah. All right. Welcome back, everyone. So lots happening, lots going on. I'm going to get into the top of the hour. I'm going to go through the book of lies that Michael Cohen is about to publish. But, Black Lives Matter have been doing these demonstrations in Seattle. Black Lives Matter Seattle, shockingly, had black people in this group, because a lot of the BLM groups seem to be white. They went to a neighborhood, a large number of them with megaphones, and started yelling at people in their homes, white people in their homes. And I did put in, there's a couple bleeps here. If you hear a bleep, that means last night on megaphones in front of the homes of white people making demands. Okay, do you know that you are segregation reversed here? I thought we were an integrated society. Black Lives Matter Seattle want to bring back segregation, apparently, because white people have integrated neighborhoods that they say are black neighborhoods, and the white people, they want out and bring in more black people. They are, at least Black Lives Matter Seattle, are advocating for a return of segregation. Listen.
Do you know that before Joe White last came here, this was all black people? Do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know people like you came in here and basically all over the land from the black people first, left them what it was worth, kicked them out, so you
Wow, so he's yelling at white people in their homes, and I guess if somebody were outside of my home like that, I would call the police, but I guess in Seattle they don't come because they want to defund the police, and they're yelling at white liberals who are guilty of integrating a neighborhood. I thought that was happening in this country. I was talking earlier about how Biden with the mask wants to take us backwards, right? Instead of getting us out of this pandemic, he wants to prolong it. They're taking us from an integrated society to an integrated society. They call it gentrification. They don't call it integration, but that's what they're advocating.
Gonna fix it. What are you gonna do to fix it? Because you're part of that gentrification, that racist
people's land. Well, I thought all the land that was made up of America was Indian land that was stolen. Now it's black people's land. Black people's land. The black people that lived at that location prior to these condos that apparently, I guess, only have white people living in them in liberal Seattle, were they owners or renters? I'd like to know. The black people that were there previous, I don't know. This is an interesting thing. The complaint that this guy has is that white people have moved into a black neighborhood and improved it, right? They've improved it. They've raised the standards in the neighborhood. That's a problem. It's integrated, they've made the neighborhood better. With this Section 8 housing racket that Biden wants to bring back from the Obama days is to go to the suburbs, bring in, and people are like, well, wait a minute, that's going to bring down my property value. Here, these people are complaining in Seattle that the neighborhood is integrated and they've increased the property value, increased the standard of living in the neighborhood. That's a bad thing. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?
Nothing. Just don't call nothing, Mom. See, that's why your mom's this wrong.
I couldn't understand that. It's like the people that have integrated this neighborhood. Give us your house. Well, which one should I give my house to? And by the way, when I give my house to you from Black Lives Matter, will you take over the mortgage payments? Or will I have to make the mortgage payments on my house that I'm giving to you? How does that work?
Your house gives black people back their homes.
How does that?
You're sitting there comfortably and you don't justify this neighborhood.
I used to live in this neighborhood.
But I used to live in this neighborhood. You're out here and my family was pushed out. And you're sitting up there having a good time with your other white friends.
Hey, you work for Amazon, don't you?
You work for Amazon, don't you? You're up there having a good time with your white friends. They don't even understand because they've been brainwashed in the liberal Seattle school district, I guess, and in liberal Washington State. And if they went to college in their liberal university, they've been brainwashed into thinking that what they are doing is civil rights. They don't understand that they are advocating for the very same thing. The ethnicities are reversed, but they're advocating the Seattle Black Lives Matter group that you just heard from are segregationist. Now, the one that was yelling in the beginning, he gave a brief interview to someone and talked about what they want.
This is not about Democrat, Republican.
Oh, no, that's the wrong. After that harassment of the people in their homes.
50 million miles and give you guys an inch. No, we're not taking that no more. We want it all. We want everything that we're supposed to have, period. And then some, too. Because everything we're supposed to have ain't enough. It damn sure ain't enough. Not for all the years that we didn't have the stuff. It damn sure ain't enough. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, they're serious, man. Like,
yeah, like, man, hey. If they were out and, these poor people upstairs that are being yelled at by the bullhorns, give us your house! You've integrated this neighborhood. How dare you? These poor people are trying to sleep because they've got to get up and go to work in the morning. The people with the bullhorns, when are they going to work? Get a job and you can live, listen. Integration, the civil rights is giving everyone the same opportunity. You couldn't be denied something because of your race. Now they've added other things, gender and things like this since then. Anyone in that group with the megaphone can live in any one of those houses they can purchase or rent if they get a job and earn enough money to do it. They're not being denied anything. A lot of people say Black Lives Matter is a Marxist movement, and it is. Listen to what they're saying. Give us your house. Dr. Zhivago went back to his house. Was it in Moscow? And the Communist Party took his house, and they had like 20 families living in Dr. Zhivago's house. Do you remember that? That's what they're advocating for. Black Lives Matter Seattle. And none of this is being covered properly. But I'll tell you this. It's election day everywhere coming up, okay? Up for re-election every 2 years. I don't know what other elections they're facing in Seattle. But I cannot wait to see the breakdown the day after the election in some of the races in some of these cities like Seattle. A lot of people say that these young activists from Black Lives Matter and Antifa don't vote, and they probably don't because they're not responsible. Liberal Democrat voters, it is Seattle after all. But their local leaders, the local Democrat leaders, are in league with the people shouting at them outside their house while they're trying to sleep. It used to be in the old days, you might have a neighbor that plays their music too loud, and that would be, could you imagine having people outside on bullhorns demanding that you give them your home? You're in there with your family, you're in there with your kids. It's got to be a frightening experience. And country that are living in fear of Black Lives Matter coming. I remember when I was a kid, there was a television campaign that was put out by the United Negro College Fund. A lot of you will remember this commercial. It was on when I was a kid, so this was late 70s, maybe early 80s. They ran it through the 80s a little bit. And then you heard the horses coming, and it was the Klan, and they had to hide the books and hide because the Klan was coming. Remember that? It was the United Negro College Fund commercial. There's a similar thing going on right now. In Seattle and Portland and in other places, people are being terrorized in their home by leftists again, because remember the Ku Klux Klan were Democrats. People are inside their homes being terrorized by Black Lives Matter and Antifa, just like that, living in fear in their very own homes. Unless they agree with them and give them the keys to the house and still pay them more. What about the cars? Should they give you the keys to their, well, I guess they don't have keys, but should they give you access to their house? Is it the one who's loudest with the megaphone? Is it the one who asks first? Are you all going to move into my house? By the way, not only do I have to still pay the mortgage after I give you my house, do I have to pay the utilities and the internet and everything too? Or will you take over that? Or should you just live in my house for free forever and have it all while I'm paying? I don't know. These are questions that should be asked. You want it all after all. All right, listen, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. My name is Brian Craig. We're 1 hour down, 2 to go. We'll be back.
96.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
You've seen the ads on TV, and you've heard your friends tell you about MyPillow. MyPillow is guaranteed the most comfortable pillow you will ever own. Right now at MyPillow.com, when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, buy one MyPillow. Right now, use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top, and and they save me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633.
For attorney Barry Siegel. Barry did a great job for me and my family when we needed a revocable living trust. Listen to one of our listeners, Ray, talk about his experience with Barry Siegel.
I want to praise Barry Siegel. And one of the most important things about sponsors is integrity. You have to know that you're dealing with an honest person. I had to go up to Myrtle Beach for my sister because her husband died, and I was helping her out. She had a trust and everything. She had not revised this trust since 1987. Secretary knows, look, I'm calling from South Carolina. I know the laws are different, and I'm just asking for information for my sister. Now, you know, most people would just blow you off, right? Yeah. You know, almost immediately, within a few minutes, Barry himself called me. I asked my questions and so on, and he answered. He was very patient. I was quite a while with him, and I talked about a lot of things, you know, and this and that. But I wanted to say, you know, character, integrity, these are the most important things with sponsors. Your fair shake.
Do what Ray did. Call attorney Barry Siegel right now. Toll free 1-855-FLA-3782. That's 1-855 toll free FLA-3782. Tell him Steve sent you.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888. Go to Steve Kane.
All right, welcome back. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Second hour has begun. It's Friday, and I'm sorry that I'm in a bad mood. You know, it happens. Do any of you ever go to work in a bad mood? You just don't have to talk. You can just, you know, if you're in a bad mood about something's going on and you're upset, you just keep your mouth shut. And I've not liked him for many years. I've just never vocalized it before. Oh my gosh. Okay, so at the end of the first hour there, Black Lives Matter Seattle attacking white liberals in Seattle for integrating the neighborhood. They want to bring back segregation, apparently. Did you see this? They call him I'm going to play this press conference. He gives a press conference with a mask on. He's, you know, I don't know how far away. He's like 20 feet away from the nearest person, but he's wearing a mask. Dallas soccer star Reggie Cannon calls fans disgusting for booing and chanting USA as the soccer players on his team knelt for the national anthem. Let me tell you something about Reggie Cannon and this soccer team in Seattle. He can make a living playing soccer in America. No one cares about soccer in America unless they're an immigrant from Brazil. Okay? Soccer, Steve Kane's a big soccer fan. But soccer has no... How many soccer teams have started here in South Florida that folded because no one could go? No one would go. No, that's right. That's right. So, but he's protesting America and alienating the fans in Dallas, Texas. How many people attend a soccer game in Dallas? I can't imagine. So anyway, Reggie Cannon is his name. No relation to Nick Cannon. It says here, and I'll play the audio in a minute. This is at the Gateway Pundit. Several soccer fans, out of a crowd of about 3,000, booed and chanted USA at an MLS game Wednesday night. I guess that's Major League Soccer. At Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas, between FC Dallas and Nashville. Press conference, Dallas star Reggie Cannon went off for fans for chanting USA. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me play this jerk. This is Reggie Cannon. They say he's a... Can someone be a star in soccer in America? I don't know. But anyway, here he is, Reggie Cannon.
And if you had heard them.
I think it was disgusting. I think it was...
And if you had heard them.
I think it was disgusting. I think it was absolutely disgusting. You got fans booing you for people taking a stand for what they believe in.
He's calling them disgusting for the fans taking a stand on what they believe in. They believe in the USA. That's disgusting. See, only liberals can take a stand for what they believe in. See, if you disagree with the liberals...
What we're going to do, and we got fans booing us in our own stadium. How disgraceful is that? Honestly,
Here you got a guy who makes a living playing soccer in a country that hates soccer, and he's disgusted by the fans that show up for a game that no one gives a damn about in this country. But he's disgusted by them.
For a lack of a better word, it pissed me off. We discussed that prior to what we were doing. We discussed it with Nashville. Everyone from Nashville was on board. Everyone across the league was on board with what we're going to do. We asked for no anthem because we don't feel it was right for the anthem to be played at this moment. They ignored our wishes. So we were going to kneel regardless, if the anthem was played or not.
You know, they ignored the wishes of the play. Okay, here's the thing. And I'll give you a real-life example of where I was talking about this. About something. If you are playing soccer on a professional team in America, the fans are like your customers, your fan base. You don't want to alienate your fan base. You know, I had that call in the first hour, the guy that makes surfboards, and I was talking to him for a couple of minutes about surfing, and I longboard, you know. And what did I say? I said, well, I gotta change the topic here. If I talk about surfing and longboarding much longer, I'm going to be in trouble. What did I mean by that, do you think? What do you think I meant by that? What I meant by that was people that listen to this program don't give a damn about surfing, and they don't care about longboarding, okay? Although some of you liked it when I was live streaming and fell on my face and almost killed myself on the longboard. I know a lot of people like that. You know, a lot of people were watching. That was great. But, because our customer base, which, is how I would apply this, the listening base of the Steve Kane Show don't care about surfing, and they don't care about longboarding. So I can't be doing shows talking about that. It would be disrespectful and abusing our audience. But, this soccer player, it's all about him, not the fans. If it's not for the fans, you don't have a team to play on, jerk. All right, let's get back to Reggie Cannon here.
It was played during these times where we asked for an anthem not to be played, and it pissed me off that you can't even have support from your own fans in your own stadium.
Yeah, he was pissed off. This is the thing with these snowflakes. They believe that they have a right not to be offended. They have a right not to be offended. And if you, I guess he wants to cancel out the... Here we are, coming out of a pandemic. 3,000 people showed up for this game. During this era of social distancing, professional sports are being canceled for the season. Things that live by there's no music going on anywhere. If you go on YouTube, all the musicians are doing YouTube concerts at home now. He's got 3,000 people who turn out to see him in an era of social distancing and a pandemic, and he's pissed off and disgusted by these people who have come out to support their local team. What a spoiled little brat. He's, who he reminds me of? AOC.
It's baffling to me. As a team, we try to give the best possible product on that field, and these last 6 months have been absolute hell for us. Absolute hell.
Well, it's all about you.
Watch other people play soccer, and we're just sitting at home, unfortunately, contracting COVID from the unfortunate situations that we were put in.
Well, how are you contracting at home alone? If you're home alone and you're isolating, like you're saying everyone should do, how are you contracting it?
An opportunity presented itself to play tonight. And unfortunately, we're mad and upset not to get the win. But I was.
Oh, so he's on a losing team. So he's got 3,000 fans who show up to see his team play. It's a losing team, and he's disgusted by these loyal fans who come out in an era of social distancing and a pandemic and support a losing team. He's disgusted by them.
I was pissed. Everyone around me was pissed. Ryan Hollington, the first thing he said to me after we got up off the knee, he said, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry for our fans."
Wow. Because they were chanting USA.
Because we had someone chanting USA, but they don't understand what kneeling means. They don't understand why we're kneeling. They can't see the reason.
I'd like to know if he knows why he's kneeling. They don't bother to ask him, why are you kneeling? Getting paid to play a game in a country where no one cares about it. It's one thing for the NFL, you got loyalists with that, but soccer?
They just think we're the ignorant ones. And it's incredibly frustrating. I'm sorry to have this tone, but you have to call it for what it is. I even knew when we decided to kneel, I knew it was gonna happen. I had a feeling that should tell you guys something, that I knew we were gonna have some negative pushback from having a unified response over what's going on.
What's going on?
That's the problem. That's a problem.
Does he know?
And it hurts me because I love our fans. I love this club.
Okay, I thought you were disgusted by them.
I want to see the support that the league has given us, that everyone has given us from our fans. And I love the people that came out tonight, but as soon as I heard that boo,
I was disgusted. Oh my goodness. Spoiled babies. You know, the left have always been this way. It's not new. Cancel culture is not new. We just have this new label for it. They've been canceling out people that have disagreed with them for a long time. I was watching on CBS All Access last night. There's a great documentary on Lincoln's last day, the day that, you know, he was assassinated at Ford's Theater. I mean, you look at that. Democrats lost an election. What did they do? Nationwide violence. Democrats always turn to violence and other things when they lose elections. This is a tactic that the Democrats have been using since there were Democrats. This is not new. All right, listen, let's take our first break of the second hour. It's coming up on 7:15. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hi, Brian Craig here. We've been telling you on the Steve Kane Show, for coronavirus testing, stop by any lab test now of Coral Springs and any lab test now of Boca. One of our longtime sponsors, Dr. Mitch Matez of the Boca Raton Center for Age Management, went to any lab test now of Boca for coronavirus testing this weekend, and he called in live on the radio to share his experience.
This is the lesson that the NBA and the NFL have learned. Keep your fucking players in line.
Yeah.
But here, the whole league is behind this guy.
And nobody cares to even see him play.
Experience where we had somebody in our close circle that tested positive after 10 days.
Come around my house for a bullhorn in the middle of the night.
Oh my God.
There's going to be some shots fired.
Yeah.
So we called up any lab test now. It was about maybe 11:30 in the morning on Saturday. They said, come on right on over. I was anonymous. I didn't announce myself. We went over there. We got there about noon. We checked in. 2 minutes later, they took us back, did our test. We sat in the waiting room for less than 15 minutes. They brought us back, gave us our results, which were negative, and we were on our way home. And a little shout out to Brittany, the nice young lady who did our test. It was completely painless. It was quick, it was simple, it was easy, and it gave you both the IgM and the IgG antibodies, which tells you if you have the infection now or if you've been exposed to it in the past.
Now, you went to any lab test now of Boca?
Boca Raton, yeah, in the Sandalfoot Plaza.
Awesome.
It was awesome. Well, it really was. It was cool. And it's easy, it's simple, and I'm telling you, that's the way to go. Forget this 10-day nonsense.
Doctor recommended. Can I say that in the commercial now? Doctor recommended. Any lab test now of Boca
Raton. There you go. Doctor recommended. Yeah, it was really kind of cool, and it was wonderful, and it was easy. And listen, to that end, go over and get tested. This is the test you want to get. It tells you point blank, did you have it, do you have it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's great. So Dr. Mitch Matez personally recommending any lab test now of Boca.
You heard Dr. Mitch Matez. Any lab test now of Boca is doctor recommended for coronavirus testing. They're located in the Sandalfoot Plaza. It's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro on the east side of 441. Give them a call, 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. 009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood over by the Coral Square Mall. Their number 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Boca and any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show. By the way, any Lab Test Now of Boca and any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs are open on Saturday. That's right. They're open on Saturday, so and open today. And I know a lot of you have been going over there. And listen, there's lots of any Lab Test Nows, but only 2 advertising on The Steve Kane Show. That's any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs and any Lab Test Now of Boca. And they have special coronavirus testing prices for Steve Kane listeners. And they also have that test, that's the one I recently took, where you get the results in 15 minutes, just a little finger test. They don't stick the thing up your nose, back to your eyeball and all that. Just a little finger test, 15 minutes, boom. And I've sent people in my family and my circle of friends over there as well. And they are open on Saturdays. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. This is Richie. I used to be a big sports guy. I used to listen to sports. I used to call sports shows up. A lot of people knew me down in South Florida. And I don't watch anything anymore but golf. And golfer I see. First golfer I see, and I don't play golf. But it's got to the point where I won't watch basketball, I won't watch football, I won't watch any of them. They disrespect the American flag. They're protesting, but you can't really blame them because they're brainwashed by a party, the Democratic Party in this country, that stands up there and tells every day, and the media and everything else, that this is a systemically racist country.
Yeah, whatever that means. It sounds to, here you got this, with this Reggie Cannon. He gets paid to play in a sport that no one cares about. 3,000 in America, no one cares about it, unless they're an immigrant from South America or something. And 3,000 fans turn up during a pandemic, and he finds them disgusting. What a jerk! I get. Could you imagine? What if I said, I get aggravated. I get aggravated at a caller or two, and if I thought the listeners of the program were disgusting, do you think you guys would still support this program if I thought you were all disgusting?
You want to know, but you can't really blame this idiot because he's been taught by a Democratic Party that sits up there and is actually and he believes what he believes.
Well, the Attorney General. Let me play this. I was going to play this later, but I'll play it now. I got Richie on. The Attorney General Barr was on Hannity last night, and I tell you, it was so hard for Hannity to keep his mouth shut. He tries to, but he did a little bit. You might hear him mumble here because 30 seconds he hasn't talked. You got to know he's there. But anyway, this is Barr last night, the Attorney General on Hannity.
And people talk about implicit racism or systemic racism. The racism in this country, look no further than our public education system. That's a racist system, maintained by the Democratic Party and the teachers' union, keeping inner city kids in failing schools instead of putting the resources in the hands of the parents to choose the schools to send their kids to.
Yeah, and the information they get there, and he's right on the money. He's right on the money with that.
From these left-wing principles that say this is how it's going to be, this is what you're going to teach your kids. You're going to brainwash the children of this country, and now you look what you got them in the streets every night protesting against a country that's the greatest country in the world. And when I listen, I believe the 75th anniversary of the Japanese signing the peace treaty, the war was over, and I see the last handful of Americans that risked their life for this country. To see these slime bucket athletes, these multi-millionaire athletes taking knees and wearing Black Lives Matter on their T-shirts and all this crap.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Clint Eastwood's movie Flag of Our Fathers came out today? Oh my goodness! The first time I saw liberal disgust openly about the American flag was when Baghdad fell. And Steve and I were watching this live. We had just gotten off the air, and this was so long ago. Peter Jennings was on TV. And Steve and I were watching Peter Jennings, and an American Marine climbed up on a crane and covered up Saddam Hussein's face with an American flag on this statue out in front of Baghdad University. And Peter Jennings, he says, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe the inappropriate." Now, again, he was a Canadian, but the media had an immediate meltdown because this was being carried live, and within 5 minutes, the Marine climbed back up there and removed the flag, and the news said, "Oh, he must have gotten a radio call from a CO somewhere who saw this and realized how inappropriate it was to display the American flag." I don't get it. Why do they hate the country so much? It gives them all this opportunity to whine and hardly work. I can't go out and protest at night. I got to get up in the morning and go to work.
I'm going to say something. I'm going to say it's got me really crazy. I watched the press conference yesterday with the President of the United States. One of those reporters, they should kick his ass I was out of that damn press room forever. Did you see that thing yesterday when he said, Mr. President, is there a reason why you've lied 10,000 times? Are you sorry for lying to the American people?
Yeah, who said that, by the way? Do you know who said that? They're all wearing masks. I can't tell who any of them are.
Well, he disregarded this dirtbag, and here is a Democratic Party and a press that get on every day calling the President of the United States Hitler and Mussolini and every other damn thing, and he's a liar, he's a liar, he's a liar. Meanwhile, the two candidates that they got running for President and Vice President of the United States, their opening statements were total fabrication and lies. They're blaming the President of the United States.
Yeah. Yeah, I like, that press conference yesterday, you're right about that, it's a disgusting moment. This talking point they have of the 10,000 lies, I liked when the one reporter was asking a question, "I can't understand you because you got the mask on." That was a good one too, they're a bunch of jerks.
They're not jerks, they are the ruination of this country.
The media, listen, the mainstream media, like social media, is a poison on our society. That's the way it is.
This creep that calls you from Carl Springs, this Alpha Carl Springs, is a dirtbag. And if I was and I hate to tell you this, if I was his age and younger, and I love.
Yeah, he's a dirtbag.
He's a dirtbag, and the whole country is full of dirtbags like that. You should be happy you're in the United States, man.
Yeah.
Downgrade this country.
That's right.
He's done everything for this country to try to put jobs out there for people. You know what they say? If people are hungry, would you give them a fish or teach them how to fish?
Well, think about this when it comes to blacks in the presidency, okay? Under President Bill Clinton, blacks had record incarceration, right, with the drug sentencing guidelines and the 3 strikes. Under President Obama, African Americans had a record number of welfare recipients. And under President Trump, African Americans had a record level of employment. So who's out there doing more for African Americans, huh?
How about Obama? That they're saying this Kamala.
Well, I guess you were wrong about Michelle being the Veep, by the way, Rich. You've been talking about that for a year. You were close. Kamala's close.
Well, here's the deal with this. People ought to remember because they don't. Nancy Pelosi, by the way, wanted what do you call it? When President Trump wants now the tax on the salaries. To withholding.
I know she wanted to do away with payroll tax back in. I know. Hey, thanks for the call. You're on the radio. Good morning. Yes, you're on the air. Yes.
Tell you the truth about Peter Jennings, which the criminal media hid constantly and still does. First of all, his wife was a Palestinian. Secondly, you never heard that, right? Secondly, he supported the PLO. Thirdly, when I was involved with Bush in the presidential election, Peter Jennings announced who won because he said Florida went with the Democrats.
Yeah, that's right.
Why? The West Coast was an hour later.
Yeah.
Trying to stop the West Coast vote.
Yeah, and Peter Jennings, and Peter Jennings, the Canadian high school dropout, because he never went to college. I think he didn't even complete high school. But anyway, Peter Jennings, when they had the Concert for America after 9/11, wouldn't let Toby Keith play because he was too pro-American. Remember that? What a jerk. But Peter Jennings is long gone. He's long gone.
Was an agent against United States.
Yeah, but now the whole mainstream media are, right? The whole mainstream media are that way now, right? He was kind of like, all right, appreciate the call. Good morning, you're on the radio. Yes.
I mean, getting back with sports and the soccer, though, I mean, really, about 80% of those guys are from other countries and, again, making a living in America and almost like the hockey. And he has a nerve to denounce or, want to take away our own.
Well, I'll tell you this thing about the kneeling. Really, a couple weeks ago, I was flipping through and I caught the Stanley Cup opening when that jerk came out and knelt for the national anthem. Remember, he knelt for all the other. He knelt for all the players, and I get because I don't think they can kneel in the hockey gear, and so he knelt for everyone, and then they cut away to Michael Bublé singing "O Canada," the Canadian national anthem, and he stood up for that. And we come to find out he's not even American. He's not even black. He's Asian Canadian. He he honors Canada, but America's racist. Have they ever had a Canadian prime minister? Who's the most prominent black Canadian? Kamala Harris. But other than Kamala Harris, I can't think of any prominent black Canadians, and he stands for them and trashes us. These athletes, they're spoiled babies. And we know now how they're getting the corona. Did you see a player got cut, a rookie got cut from a football team for trying to sneak in a girl? The sports teams are getting corona because they're passing around strippers and groupies.
Roots of their labor. Of course, they need America to be this melting pot. But I like to see them try these things at their country that they're from. Speak against their government or leaders or, give me a break. Including our media. They need us to be this melting pot, this great country. But they have the nerve to speak against. And take away your right to speak against them. And you're wrong for doing that.
Yeah.
I love how you break it down. And that's great. And I think, I know to the average person, the media looks like they're hurting President Trump. But to me, I think it's reversed. Everyone knows that they're obvious, they're lying. And I think, like you said, they're silencing us, putting us in the closet. But we'll come out and vote. And that's fine. I mean, I think they're helping us more than they hurt us. They're just hurting us in public, like Hillary Clinton used to say one thing in private, do another thing in public. That kind of...
Well, President Trump in the press conference said yesterday that he thinks he could win New York. And you know what? Maybe he could, but maybe all the good people have been leaving. I'm watching these stories about how they're turning the nice, beautiful hotels of New York into drug dens for the homeless and the junkies. When this calms down, who's gonna want to travel to New York and stay in one of the hotels where they were letting homeless junkies live in for the whole year? I wouldn't. Would you?
Enough. I mean, they make this big mess, and the conservatives have to come in and clean it up. That's what always happens.
That's right. All right, appreciate the call, man. Thanks so much. All right, you're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977. By the way, we're live in the mornings from 6 until 9 a.m. with overnight rebroadcast 7 nights a week, midnight till 6 a.m. And we broadcast Monday through Friday, midnight to 9 a.m. and on the weekends, midnight till 6 a.m. And you can listen to us on the radio on 103.9 FM, 96.9 FM, 95.3 FM, and AM 1470 on the radio dial. All right, let's take our break here for the bottom of the hour, all right? We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
It's hurricane season again. This year, forecasters predict as many as 10 hurricanes. Are you prepared? prepared for hurricane strikes? Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware is your hurricane preparation location. You don't want to go through hurricane season without a generator. Ace carry generators for all size homes at prices to fit every budget. Once a hurricane is on television, generators are the first thing to sell out, but you will have the security of knowing you will not be without electricity if a hurricane hits. With your generator from Ace, you will have the security for every hurricane season to come. Ace also have an incredible selection of chainsaws.
That ringing, that was Steve's phone in the Q speaker.
Ace Hardware Deerfield is just south of Hillsboro on the west side of US 1. Beach Ace Hardware is located at 232 Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware, your first stop for hurricane
Steve Kane Show.
And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Steve Kane Show.
This is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beat. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire.
Steve Kane Show.
Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire.
I know, I got
That's
you.
a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges.
Good morning,
Tire
Debbie.
have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30.
Oh, if
for
you're
most
a
cars.
Patreon
Oh, my good
supporter,
buddy,
don't
Friendly
forget,
Friendly
Saturday
Tire.
morning,
Tell
9
them
a.m.
what you
Eastern,
drive,
our
and we'll give you a great low price
exclusive
right over the phone.
Patreon
957
supporter
94
video chat with my wife and I.
977-94-45. Online, friendlytire.net.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, Friendly Tire open on Saturdays, people. So if you can't make it in during the week, stop in on Saturday. That's tomorrow. They're open today too, but they're also open on Saturday. Friendly Tire in Margate. Hey, Steve, how's it going? Oh man, so I want to replay this. I played this in the first hour, but I want to play it again. Black Lives Matter Seattle took to the streets to terrorize white residents last night with megaphones. And you know what their grievance is, Black Lives Matter, with these white people?
What's that?
They have integrated a neighborhood that used to be just a black neighborhood. They've integrated the neighborhood. There's now whites living alongside blacks, and Black Lives Matter, they're pretty pissed off about it. I know, isn't that crazy? I know.
My understanding, I've been kind of getting ready for the show while
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Is it the feds pulled out of
Seattle? That's the word on the street. So this is last night. It's Seattle. Black Lives Matter in front of homes that they say is occupied by white people, and every bleep you hear is the F word. Here we go.
Historically black neighborhood right now? Do you know that? Do you know that before Joe White ass came here, this was all black people?
Oh my God! Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you reverse the races in this? They're upset at these people. It gets worse.
Do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know people like you came in here and basically all over the land from the black people for less than what it was worth? Kick them out so you can live here. Do you know that?
What they're saying is, are you aware that you have integrated this neighborhood?
Yeah. Do you know that? Yeah. Because if you don't, then do not do something about it.
Yeah. Open your wallet.
Open your wallet. You live in a historically black neighborhood. You live in a gentrified neighborhood.
Yeah.
You're part of that gentrification. Yeah. So how are you going to fix it? What are you going to do to fix it? Because you're part of that gentrification, that racist gentrification. How do you plan to fix it? Because you are living on black people's land right now.
Yeah.
See, now this is interesting. You're living on... I thought that America was stolen Indian land. Now it's stolen black land.
Black people live here too. So how do you plan to fix it? As a gentrifier, because you are part of that problem. How do you plan to fix it? Nothing. Just don't call nothing off. See, that's why your mom's just phone.
Did you hear that one? She says, give us your house, Steve. Give us your house.
Black people back their homes. They're sitting there comfortable as and they don't justify this neighborhood. I used to live in this neighborhood. But I used to live in this neighborhood. Your husband and my family was pushed out. And you're sitting up there having a good time with your other white friends.
Hey, you work for Amazon, don't you?
Oh my gosh, so give us your house. Now here's my question, Steve. When you give them your house, do you still have to make the mortgage on it, or will they take over the mortgage payments?
You get the you get to make the payments.
While they live in your house?
Would.
Yeah.
Be something in it for us.
Oh my.
This is ridiculous. The only thing that I marvel at, and I have a strange perspective because of I don't know what to call it. The gambling mentality that I have. In life, I view a lot of things in terms of odds and what's most likely, what's not most likely. How the Biden people think that they are going to win the hearts and minds of Americans and help him win the election doing this bull crap that they're doing. It just blows my mind. I mean,
yeah.
And I called you last night. I was on the phone with my friend who takes the action in New York, and Biden is still a favorite. Not a big favorite. I had to put up for the last bet I made last night. I had to put up what was it, 500 to win 600 or so, or 400 to win 500, something like that. Biden is still a favorite. I just don't see where their head is at.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
They're coming for me next. There's no way I'm going to give these people more power than they've already.
Well, maybe there's something new that came out yesterday that it's the latest scheme to bring down Trump. Michael Cohen has his new book coming out, and we got a sneak peek of the Michael Cohen book, which is called Disloyal. I guess it's a self-titled memoir. And in it, he says this. Michael Cohen reveals that he witnessed a golden showers incident and helped Trump commit tax fraud and lie to his wife Melania. Michael Cohen also says he helped Trump create a secret back channel to Putin. And maybe they think that this book's going to bring him down, right? Just like the niece's book and who's the guy with the mustache that had the book, you know?
When you watch this around the clock, which I do, I don't know how many people watch it as straight through as I do, but and you look at what's going on the screen, and it's like the country is dissolving into chaos, and the Democrats aren't even acknowledging that it's happening.
Yeah.
They don't even address it.
Yeah.
How are they going to win an election that way? Why, put it in gambling terms, why is Biden still a favorite? I understand the polls, but the polls are effed. I mean, really.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, when Biden came out yesterday and talked about this thing, real quick here on the Michael Cohen book. This is the latest book that they say is going to bring down Trump, right? We got the Cohen book. We just had the niece's book. We had the John, what's the guy's name with the bad mustache that had the book that worked for Trump that was on Fox all the time? I forgot his John Bolton. We had the Woodward book. They got another Woodward book coming out. They keep thinking these books are going to bring... Let me tell you this about the Trump train. If Melania Trump and Barron Trump wrote tell-all books, right, attacking President Trump, we'd still vote for him. You understand what I mean? So all these book schemes, they're not going to hurt him.
But my feeling about these people is they're not as concerned with hurting Trump as they are with exploiting the situation for their own economic advantage. I mean, these are just political opportunists, Bolton and the niece and all of them. I mean,
yeah. You know, when Biden came out yesterday about the mask mandate, the national mask mandate, he could barely get the words out. He could barely stay awake.
Sharper at 5 o'clock coming in than he has been the last couple of days. So I'm thinking they're aware there's a problem there.
You must have heard the show yesterday.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. You know, that guy from Black Lives Matter that I played, he gave an interview after. Let me play a clip. This is the same guy that was yelling on the bullhorn. How dare you white people integrate this neighborhood? We want to bring back segregation. This is him. He tells this interviewer what Black Lives Matter wants.
50 million miles and give you guys an inch. No, we're not taking that no more. We want it all. We want everything that we're supposed to have, period. And then some, too. Because everything we're supposed to have ain't enough. It damn sure ain't enough. Not for all the years that we didn't have to suffer. It damn sure ain't enough. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, they're serious, man.
Like, wow, so they want everything. Yeah. Sounds like Biden. Come on, man. You know, they want everything and more. They want it. You know, that I was talking to the first hour about this, Steve. When they say they want the house, obviously it can't be just to the person that asked for it. It had to be to the mob. That's like in Dr. Zhivago, when Dr. Zhivago went back to his house and the communists took it over and had 20 families living in Dr. Zhivago's house. Yeah. No, that's Black Lives Matter.
Is that they feel that this is going to get them votes. And what about this thing of Biden not taking any questions? How long is he going to be able to...
Or Kamala. Why do you think they're not taking questions from their friends in the liberal media 2 days in a row?
Because there are enough people that have enough neutrality about them that they're going to ask about these embarrassing things that Kamala confronted Biden with in the run-up to the primaries. And they want to avoid that.
Yeah.
Even liberals obviously have their limits somewhere, but.
Well, I missed Tucker Carlson last night, but you picked up on something, and I thought was pretty interesting.
Yes. I want to throw this out to get. I want to make sure I heard what I heard because it was a real quick aside or a throwaway that came from Tucker. But I think in the beginning, as he was talking about introducing the premise about what's going on with this election, he introduced Kamala as the former girlfriend of Willie Brown.
Yeah,
it was real quick. That's why I thought I might have hallucinated.
Is that what they call mistresses? They call them girlfriends now? Is that what
Whatever.
Yeah, why do you think Tucker did that? It's true.
He's pushing it, and by the way, Hannity, I have lots to say about Hannity, most of it not very good, but he was brutal last night. I mean, somebody's taken the shackles off him, and he was really going after Biden in ways that I couldn't believe.
You know what that's about? He's in competition now with Tucker. They're competing.
He also must be getting messages from within Fox that it's okay for him to go over the line because he said things that I wouldn't say.
Really? Well, give us like what?
I should have written something down.
Yeah. Oh.
Specifics. But it was brutal stuff. You
know what I think Tucker's doing? I think Tucker, this thing about Willie Brown's girlfriend, I think he's trying to get an interview with Willie Brown. And, Willie Brown, I don't think likes the idea that his ex-mistress is now moving on up above his status. He used to be a big deal, Willie Brown, when he was mayor of San Francisco. He was a big deal. And his mistress is moving on up. That would be a great interview. Tucker Carlson interviewing Willie Brown. I'd love it. Oh, he'd ask all the great questions.
Would you like to hear? What question would you ask?
Well, there's a story I would ask about. He gave her her first statewide job was an appointment that he got for her. So I would ask if they were having sex at that time. Did they start having sex after? Were they having sex before? It'd be, because it was, because it is what it is. Yeah, those are the kind of questions I would ask.
Fox has loosened up that much that they're not at all concerned?
Tucker Carlson is, he's rogue. He's gone rogue.
Yeah, but they're in a new phase of rogue.
He's like a nomad over there. He's like a nomad. You know, he is really, you know, he's playing with fire, Tucker Carlson.
I'd like to kind of focus in on this issue of what's going on at Fox and whether the impressions that I'm getting, which is that they're breaking all new boundaries. In fact, last night it was...
well, at night they are. Not during the day, but at night they are.
Take whatever I can get, I'll take. But let's... I'm going to give out the phone numbers so that when we get back, we will go directly to your calls. Love to get your reactions to Fox's programming last night, especially. We're in new territory. That's how I see it. 1-888, that's 3 8s, by the way. 1-888-GO-KANE, Kane. The final number is the numeral 1. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. We'll be back with your calls right after this.
You've seen the ads on TV, and you've heard your friends tell you about MyPillow. MyPillow is guaranteed the most comfortable pillow you will ever own. Right now at MyPillow.com, when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, buy one MyPillow, get one for free. But you have to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com for this incredible offer. Buy one MyPillow, get another one free. Go to MyPillow.com right now. Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
Do you suffer from foot pain that just won't go away? Do you have balance issues and are you afraid of falling? Are you in need of orthotics? Are you a diabetic and in need of diabetic shoes and custom inserts? These are just a few reasons why you would call the Soul Authority today. Whether it's in the comfort of your own home or coming to the office at one of our 2 convenient locations in Pembroke Pines or Tamarack, the Soul Authority can take care of all of your podiatric needs. If you're a Medicare recipient, call us today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060. And you can also find us online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Call the Soul Authority today and start taking care of your feet.
Are you suffering from decreasing energy, poor libido, weight gain, a foggy mind, an unsatisfactory sex life, or any of the symptoms of the aging process? Good news, folks. These processes are completely reversible. With his 20 years of experience in age management medicine, Dr. Matez can offer safe, effective protocols that will work for everyone. The Boca Raton Center for Age Management offers hormone replacement therapies, intravenous therapies, peptide therapies, and a host of other cutting-edge modalities that rejuvenate the human body and give you back the vigor of youth. If you want to get back to feeling good, looking good, and functioning well, call Dr. Matez at the Boca Raton Center for Age Management at 561-953-5490. That's 561-953-5490. Or visit their website at brc4am.com. That's brc4am.com for the Boca Raton Center for Age Management.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeart Radio.
Oh, Steve, you may not even be aware of this, but next week, Dr. Matez, he'll be calling in next week. He has a new procedure that he's going to be talking about next week, and it's a non-surgical breast lift. A non-surgical breast lift. He's going to be talking about that next week, something new he's offering. So stay tuned for that. Oh, yeah. Oh, I gotta tell everybody. Yeah.
After the show today, I'm getting my first home podiatric treatment.
Oh, really? The doctor is coming to your house?
The doctor is coming to my house, and I don't even have to leave my home to get my feet fixed up.
That's amazing.
I'll give you all the details when
Steve Kane Show
on Monday.
Hey. Well, that's great. Yeah, you could do a spot for the house call because that's something new. We've been talking about the house call, but we haven't talked to anybody who's actually done it yet on the air. So you'll be first. You know, I tell you, though, about the Soul Authority, wherever you are within the listening range of our radio station, the doctor, she will come to your house. And, I mean, that's some old-fashioned healthcare, isn't it? Who does house calls anymore? The Soul Authority. Yeah. All right, let's, you want to go to the phones? All right, you're on the radio. Good morning.
Yeah, hi, Brian, Ray of Sunrise.
Oh, hey, Ray.
Hey, Ray, what's up?
Hey,
good to hear your voice.
I got something in my throat, sorry. I got a call yesterday from a mutual friend, Jim Robinson. Remember the public adjuster?
Yes, absolutely.
Great guy. Anyway, he said that I was playing golf, and he said that you mentioned me yesterday and something about you wanted me to apologize to you, or you wanted me.
What are you talking about? No. Oh my goodness.
I wanted to apologize to you because evidently on our last call I got a little carried away and went over the line and actually gave you the feeling you said that I didn't like you or that I didn't want you calling the show. And nothing could be further from the truth. You're one of my favorite chronics.
Well, first of all, thanks for thinking about me. You know, Brian sometimes wonders if I'm still along the living. Yeah, but I play golf 3 times a week, so I keep busy.
Well, I didn't know. Steve actually did an on-air apology, Ray, to you yesterday. And I told Steve, I said, I think Thursday, Ray will be at the golf course right now. He's not hearing this. But luckily, Jim Robinson reached out.
Jim saved the day. Anyway, now that you're here, I want to give you the apology again to your face if I went over the line, which I'm prepared to admit I must have done. If I hurt your feelings, I really, really apologize. You're one of our loyalist listeners, and we treasure you and all our loyal listeners. You forgive me? You forgive me, Booby?
Booby.
No need for you to apologize. First of all, I gave up calling because I acknowledge that you are the professional, and it's your show, and you set the standards. I'm more for facts, you know, and you're not a news program, you know, you're like...
Well, you know, this on-air apology, Ray, this is the first time, I think, Steve, you've ever apologized to a caller, I think. I cannot recall you ever doing it again prior to this, so that's a big deal. And I tell you, I apologized to a caller once, and they told me to go F myself. I called them personally and apologized for them. I didn't even think they needed and deserved the apology, but I did it, and they told me to go F myself and wanted me to do it again on the show. And I'm like, that's not going to happen after you told me to go F myself. But you took the apology. Steve had a running bit, I think, with you on the calls that he got, you know.
But you had your finger on the button, all that kind of stuff, you know. But you know, now you said you're in a bad mood today, buddy. Are you ever going to apologize to Tony?
No, Tony's a jerk. That call, Tony, he can keep calling. I don't want him to stop calling. But I've never liked that caller, Tony. He's been calling. I don't remember a time when he wasn't calling the Steve Kane Show, and I've never liked Tony. Never. I just let him know it today for the first time, which was a mistake.
Welcome back. Good to hear your voice, and you know, just keep the calls, you know, make them a little more condensed and...
Yeah.
Hey, my friend.
One thought, okay? Okay, get something positive. I like Sleepy Joe that Trump has, but I like Hyde and Biden. You know,
Hyde and Biden. That's a good one. I like that. Hyde and Biden. Okay. Let him do his one last. Steve, don't run the thing. It's just one last thing.
You said last week that you were wondering if you're going to do a live show on election night. And Brian said, well, he didn't know if he could come in the next day. All you have to do is do a rebroadcast the next morning. Brian can go to sleep in.
From 6 to 9 a.m.? I don't think so. We got to be here live the day after in the morning.
Close race that will be undecided during our morning show the following day, or it'll be a landslide.
Yeah.
2 different shows. If the election is up for grabs, people are not going to want to hear last night's results.
Yeah.
They want to hear what's going on now.
That's true.
Yeah, I hope that we could do this, but evidently the technical difficulties and Brian's inability to go 9 hours straight on the air without a break.
She said. I mean, I did it. We did it back in 2010, and we were going to do it together, and then I ended up doing it alone, and we invited a bunch of people in, and they all left, and I was stuck holding the bag, till 9. It was rough. It'll be history from 6 until 9 in the morning, and I'll live. All right, let's take one more call. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning, conservative Doug, gentlemen. Okay.
Yes, Doug.
Last night I listened to Rachel Maddow for 2 minutes after Handy was on break, and she read from the Cohen book. And the first thing I thought about is, well, probably all untrue, of course, but what happened to attorney-client privilege?
It doesn't apply to golden showers, apparently.
I mean, well, that's one thing. But when he says, he's like the mafia, he's cheated on taxes, he's done this, that's attorney-client privilege, in my opinion. So I'm hoping soon.
This book, I love how it's titled Disloyal. But you know what they're going to turn him into is the new John Dean. John Dean's getting old, right? So Michael Cohen will be on CNN for the rest of my life every time there's an election. Enough.
I don't like giving these scumbags the publicity.
Yeah.
Like helping them sell books. I mean, the guy, first of all, I don't believe a word out of his mouth any more than I believe did Mary Trump. So, I don't want to participate.
Michael Cohen used to listen to us, Steve. Yes. Yeah, we got a mutual contact. He used to listen to this when he was down here in Florida. He listened to us. And sometimes on iHeart. I really sent him a strong message, Michael Cohen. I unfollowed him on Twitter. That's like a big deal today. If you unfollow someone, that's really letting them. Hey, you want to take some more? By the way, Doug, thanks for the call. You're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, Steve and Brian. Good morning. This is Lee from Lauderdale Lake.
Hey, Lee.
Hey, Steve. I have a suggestion for you and Brian as it relates to the overnight broadcast. So let's say your two great callers. You have a bunch of them. I'm going to suggest Richard Pearl and guy just got off. I'm getting his name. Ray from Sunrise. Let them come in and help with Brian. So Brian, they can talk and they have content. And I think that would really help Brian out to get through that period. That's my suggestion.
Well, what we're talking about is Steve wants to go live at midnight on election night and us be here from midnight till 9 o'clock in the morning. That's what Steve wants to do. And we did it once in 2010, and I was physically ill for 3 days after. It was a nightmare. Everybody left.
I think this is easy. It's not. And especially when you start to fade, when you get tired and stuff like that.
Well, see, the thing about it is, I remember we did it in 2010. We had Adam and a few other people, and when they got tired, everybody just left. You went home, Adam left, there were some other people there, I don't remember who, they left, and then it was about 5:30 in the morning, and then I had 3.5 hours alone.
I had the permission of the executive producer.
Yeah, yourself. You just said, I'm going home and going to bed. And then everybody else left around 5:30, and then I was there for 3.5 hours on the air by myself. It was awful.
Well, I'm going to be working 9 hours the way we've got it set up now because I'm going to be up all night.
I don't know why you do that. I go to bed early.
Hey, with the future of the country in the balance, there's no way
I can sleep through anything. I mean,
I could see if they announce a winner, if there's a definite winner, and even then there'll be congressional races and senatorial races, which will be vital. But at least on the presidential race, if I don't have a winner, no way I sleep.
Okay. All right. Hey, Lee, thanks for the call. All right, take care. One more call, then we'll break. You're on the radio. Good morning. Hey, Juan.
Hey, Juan.
How are you guys? Good. Two things. Did you guys see that? You guys might have addressed this. I overslept this morning,
anyway, did you guys see the Attorney General speak and what you think about what he said regarding that there's no major incident or no major indictments or
No, he didn't say that. He said there would be a development today, and that it wasn't. And then he realized he might have.
Yeah.
Then there's going to be, so he pulled it back a little bit and said it's not earth-shaking, but it's something that's supposed to reaffirm our faith that in the system and that eventually truth will be outed here.
Hey Juan, we got to run for a break. It's 2 minutes after 8. We'll be right back. Third hour after this.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
This is Steve Kane, and I wanted to share with you some thoughts about why I chose the gardens of Boca Raton to be my final resting place. I have always been uncomfortable with thoughts of death and dying, but the very first time that I visited the gardens of Boca Raton, I could feel my apprehensions vanish. Just knowing that I'd be spending eternity with my family in such magnificent surroundings lifted my spirits. The gardens of Boca Raton is an all-faith,
life goes on.
Cemetery with tranquil surroundings,
I'd still do the show.
A place where your loved ones can come and visit you time and time again, remembering and celebrating your life. The gardens have caring professionals available to help you in your time of need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pre-need with 0% financing is available and prevents your family from having to deal with these matters at the time of their grief and sorrow. The gardens of Boca Raton, dedicated to all those who have lived and all those who live today. Let the gardens take care of your family as they are taking care of my family. Schedule a tour today. Call 877-PLAN-561 or online at thegardens.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van. At the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. The road, free mounting and balance. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE. 1-8-GO.
All right, third and final hour has begun 5 minutes after 8. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. By the way, Friendly Tire in Margate, open on Saturdays. They're open on Saturdays. They're open Friday, too. They're open today, but they're also open on Saturday. A lot of your work can't make it in during the week. They're open on Saturday. And, Steve, I got to give a big thank you to one of our sponsors, that's Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Champagne Automotive Repair gave me my car back, the car that I thought was going to end up at the junkyard, my Ford Explorer. I have it back, courtesy of Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca Raton. It does. I mean, it's like it's running showroom new. It's absolutely amazing, and they're not only are they highly skilled master mechanics at Champagne Automotive Repair, Eddie Jr. and Senior over there, but their prices are so reasonable, so affordable. You know, because listen, I know when it comes to automotive repair, I think most people just assume that they're going to be lied to and scammed by the auto shop. And you know what? That's true at a lot of places. I know. I've been through it. And Champagne Automotive Repair, they will never do a repair on your car that your vehicle does not need. They've worked on my car. They did an incredible job on my daughter's car. And by the way, I priced the repair on my daughter's car, and they did it for a fraction of what others wanted around town. And they also do not just mechanical work. They do everything. Oil changes, AC work, tune-ups. They do body work, they do transmission work, whatever it is, automotive repair-wise, call Champagne Automotive Repair. I'm going to give you the number. They're listed at stevekaneshow.com, 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. All right, we're back. You want to take some calls? I have no idea. These calls from this point forward until the are screenless. I don't know who these people are. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hi. I'll volunteer election night. I'll stay the whole night with you. I'll give you my personal history experience with a lot of these bastards.
I feel like I'm being propositioned here.
He wants to spend the night with us. Yeah.
Because I'll be going crazy that night also. So I might as well do something to benefit my fellow man.
By telling people your history? We don't want to put our audience to sleep.
First, with these politicians, Biden on down.
Well, tell us an experience you had with Biden. Let's do an audition here. Tell us one of your Biden experiences.
I did for 20 years.
For what?
Want me to go through that now?
Well, pick the most interesting thing about Biden and you that you think listeners would be interested in.
Oh, man, there's so much.
Well, pick one. Pick the most interesting.
Off the top of my head, I can't think that.
Well, that's why you're not going to be here on election night. Oh, my gosh. You know, that's what usually happens. All these...
People listening to our show would be sophisticated enough to know they can't get away with that.
You know...
Talk radio.
Yeah.
And facing down, not that this guy was a liberal, he wasn't.
No.
Into BS, and all you have to say to call it like that is give me an example, and of course they can't because they're blowing smoke.
You know, there's a lot of things with listeners. People think it's easy to sit here and talk for 3 hours a day. I give the guy 10 seconds, he can't do it. It's not as easy as it looks easy because we're so good at it, you know. But it's not easy. So I was watching MS-13 yesterday, and they were talking about Vice President Kamala Harris and what she'll do when she becomes vice president. I'm calling her Kamala. That's how it's spelled. I think this Kamala is just to sound fancy and different. I don't think that's really how you pronounce it. I bet her mother called her Kamala.
On Fox last night, evidently Kamala's father.
Yes.
Did you see the letter he wrote to the? He mailed it out to the press. So
really? No, I didn't know. What's this?
Oh, he excoriated her for making, disgracing her heritage and making.
Really?
A bunch of.
I did not know that. I did not know. Well, I can't do it while we're on the air, but I'll do it over the weekend. Oh, are you talking about when she said she smoked weed because she's Jamaican?
It was a grueling letter he wrote her. He tore it to shreds.
Oh, yeah, I'll find that. That sounds good.
Anywhere but Fox, I'm sure.
Well, on the Steve Kane Show Monday. Okay, so I'm watching MSNBC, and they were talking about what Vice President Kamala Harris will do other than wait for Biden to resign when she becomes vice president. This is yesterday.
Wins the presidency, and Senator Harris becomes Vice President Harris. What I think she would be best at, what I actually think makes her more qualified than some of the other people, someone, once Biden takes office, is going to be tasked with going through this entire administration with a fine-tooth comb and basically expunging all the Trumpists. Like getting rid of the Ba'ath Party in Iraq. Like somebody's got to go through and find all of these incompetent, unqualified, corrupt white nationalist supporting people that Trump has burrowed into our State Department.
Yeah,
burrowed into our justice.
Yeah.
And I think Senator Harris would be fantastic at finding those people and removing them, because she'll have the skill set to not only get rid of the officials and the bureaucrats, she can help us impeach some of these judges.
These judges. Yeah. You want Ray back? Yeah. So she's going to do a purge. Well, at the end, she's going to do a purge of federal judges appointed by Trump.
Don't you wish that you had a chance to ask him to give an example of what he's talking about with the administration? And he wouldn't have come up with a single person.
No. The white nationalist? There's no white nationalist in the Trump movement. What are they talking about?
Election I've ever seen.
He just brokered a deal with the Jews. I mean, you know, with Kushner.
Biden did that.
Oh, yeah, Biden did that. Biden did that. What, really? Or, no, come on. I thought you were kidding.
No, last night on Fox, Biden was trying to take the credit for the positive developments in the Mideast.
Oh, okay. I thought they started Muslim Spring, which caused that Syrian civil war.
Fox has started, I'm assuming it's only Fox, I doubt that any of the so-called news stations would do this, but they're starting to pick up on a whole bunch of these stories of little kids who are shot randomly or killed randomly in the violence that's going on back there, and with pictures of the kids. And it's heartrending stuff.
Yeah.
I'm saying to myself, how do these Democrats think that they're, you know, that this is plays in their favor? I just don't understand it.
Yeah. They're
5 or 6, and the neighbor ran out of the house. It was a racial thing. The neighbor was black, the kid was white. And he blew the kid's head off.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
What?
Well, you know, he was checking his white privilege.
I understand. Maybe I'm wasting my money with all these bets here. Maybe America's going to look and say, "Oh, killing little 5-year-olds. That's great."
You know, this thing about they've had 2 days, Biden and Kamala Harris, not taking questions. Every single member of the mainstream media have been celebrating her, praising her. They love her. It's the liberal media. I don't understand why they're not taking questions from their liberal friends in the media. What are they afraid of?
Afraid of looking like idiots.
But these are their friends.
Doesn't matter. Even these liberal reporters, I'm sure when they start getting a chance, they'll throw in a little something. And with Biden, anything you ask him, you never know what the hell is going to come out.
Well, that's true. Are you a junkie, man? Come on, man. Are you a junkie? He may say that. You know, they have this one photograph they keep showing of Biden with Kamala, and they're looking at each other face to face. That is the most inappropriate picture of running mates I've ever. It looks like they're going to kiss.
Very interesting. Well, you know who that is. See, that's Kamala.
Yeah.
She's doing is she's. I think they're holding hands or something.
Yeah.
She's looking at it. This is what she does. She's got that bedroom look.
Oh, she's a seductress?
That's how when she relates to men, that's her MO. That's how she manipulates men.
Oh, that was a seduction?
How she is in life. If you introduce her to some guy, I'm sure when the first time she met Willie Brown, that's the look she had on her face.
Oh, let me ask you this. Have you seen the picture of her with Willie Brown at the dinner table where she's all dolled up and young? She looks so much lighter in that photograph than I've ever seen her. Like almost what his Willie Brown. She's a lot lighter there than she is now.
Seem like she doesn't seem black.
Well, she's Indian. She's Indian, and and another thing about that, Willie Brown's other mistresses have been white women. In fact, he's fathered children with one of them, and she's the only non-white mistress that I know of Willie Brown. But there's that photograph of her at the dinner table with Willie Brown when she was his mistress, dating him. Well, that photograph they keep cropping in the national media. I've seen it uncropped. And the one I'm talking about is she's like in a formal dress. She's sitting down at a table next to Willie Brown looking over in awe. Yeah. The seductress look? No. But, yeah, well, same thing. But right next to him, they keep cutting out the rest of the table. Nancy Pelosi was at the table, too. And they keep cutting her out, Nancy Pelosi, out of these photographs. I guess they don't want... Nancy Pelosi was going out with Willie Brown and his mistress, I guess, on some type of double date. I don't know.
It's not only that there's going to be a major... The split is about to occur big time
Steve Kane
in the
Show.
Democratic Party because the Ocasio group...
the squad?
Yeah, the fact that they were only given 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Show war there. And they're going to bring back all these losers. They're going to bring back Kerry. They're going to bring back all of them.
All the losers? Well, AOC, who says she can only... if she doesn't stop after 60 seconds, are they going to cut her off like at the Oscars? She should go up... She should go up there and vent about what they're doing to her. I'd love that if she went up there and started venting about how they only limited her to 60 seconds and she's going to speak her mind and say her piece.
What will embolden her is the fact that they've had a couple of wins in these primaries. They're looking strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's only going to make her more brazen.
Yeah, so they won some Democrat elections. Good for them. All right, let's take another call before we break. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. This is Nick from Coral Springs. This is in regard to your question about why Tucker referred to Kamala Harris as Willie Brown's girlfriend. That's how he referred to her. Here's the reason why. The night before, Tucker had a liberal guest on, and he pronounced her name wrong. He said Kamala, it's Kamala, according to Rendo. So the following night, then, the one that you saw, which I saw too, he said Willie Brown's girlfriend.
So he doesn't mispronounce her name. I see. Well, they did it. No, it was bigger. They did a whole segment on CNN about how Tucker Carlson is racist and he's mispronouncing her name on purpose. And when Biden introduced her, he said Kamala. So.
One other thing too. Your other caller, Tony, that calls up.
Yeah, the one I don't like. Oh, I don't want him to stop calling. The fact that I don't like him makes him more interesting. But you know what? It's not that you like Tony. It's that you like the fact that he gives me a hard time and I don't like him. That tension between the two is what makes it interesting. He's not interesting. But the tension because I don't like him makes him interesting.
Calling? I haven't heard him in a while.
Tony, no, it's a different Tony. It's not Black Tony. This is a white guy. Yeah, Black Tony, I think Black Tony, yeah, he called the other day. This is a white Tony, and I've never liked the guy, and today he just rubbed me the wrong way, and for the first time I told him I didn't like him. But I can't stand him. And out of everybody that calls this show, he's the only caller I personally do not like.
Thank you, Brian. I know you had mentioned the sports. First of all, I don't watch any sports at all anymore either because they kneel and everything. I'm with Richie. But there's one guy for the Orlando Magic, Jonathan Isaacs. He's a black guy. He's a minister, and he stood up and he wears the Magic shirt. He doesn't wear the Black Lives shirt. And he said all men are created equal according to the gospel, and what everybody's doing is wrong. I thought this guy was great. Yeah. There's one guy, only one guy that's...
when you're being, there's this soccer guy that is disgusted by his fans who chanted USA when he was kneeling. He plays soccer in Dallas. No one gives a damn about soccer. 3,000 fans showed up during social distancing in this pandemic, and he's disgusted by the 3,000 fans that showed up to watch him get paid to kick a ball around a field in Dallas. He should be on his knees thanking them, not calling,
Which sport do you think is going to suffer the most from this demonstration issue?
NFL. You think so? Isn't the NBA... Well, hold on. Let me ask you that, because isn't the NBA fan base more black than the NFL? So they're in. So they like him.
Militant. And, I mean, do you agree with that? Basketball is the most militant of the sports when it comes to this stuff.
100%. Because of LeBron James.
Steve Kane Show.
Biggest racist.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I agree.
All right. Well, hey, listen. Great call, and you were so relevant. You were talking about things that happened way back at like 5 minutes after 6. You've been there with us all morning, and you kind of gave us a critique of the whole program of today up to this point. You're a good caller, unlike Tony, who's a jerk. All right, you missed it. I was just no. Actually, we're not going to break. No, we'll be back. But first, we're going to talk to attorney Barry Siegel, our estate planning attorney. Barry Siegel, good morning.
The Siegel Law Group. Barry, how are things going this morning?
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Brian. Everything's great. How about you?
Excellent. It's Friday. What can I tell you?
Yeah. Coming up on hopefully a very nice weekend. Today I was going to discuss the options we have, the way we plan. And when we do what we call outright distributions in our trusts or in our wills, those assets go to our loved ones. However, they may not be able to keep those assets if certain things happen, things that happen every day in life, divorces, if they predecease their spouse, or if they get sued or have creditors, they could end up losing some or all of the inheritance that you leave to them. So would you rather leave it to them in an unprotected fashion, what we call the outright distributions, or leave it to them in a protected fashion, what we talk about as the bloodline planning? And most people think they have bloodline planning, but when we take a look at it, we're able to see that they don't have bloodline planning, they have outright distributions. So if you want to make sure that your family keeps the assets, that it goes from your children to your grandchildren and stays with the people you love, and does not go to unintended beneficiaries, you want to make sure you have bloodline planning in your estate plan.
Well, if they want to get a hold of you, and again, I want to emphasize, there is no charge for Steve Kane listeners to do these consultations. Barry is pleased to do it at no charge. Barry, keep them the number that they can call to make that appointment.
Sure, Steve. We have a toll-free number, 855 FLA-3782. That's 855 FLA-3782. And you can also check us out on our website, which is www.siegellawgroup.com. That's SIEGEL lawgroup.com.
Barry, have a great weekend. All right?
All right. Oh, now here, Steve. You're going to start to get your life back to normal now. Next week, AMC is opening up 2/3 of their theaters, the movie theaters, and in honor of I guess the AMC started in 1920. This is their centennial year, this year of hell that we've been in. In celebration, when they reopen, 15 cents a ticket, which was the price back in 1920. So you're going to go back to the movies, or?
No, this is going to be a thing like the vaccine. Once we're able to do it, everybody's, these are things that people have missed and want to get back. But now that it's back, the question is, are they going to have the courage to do it?
Yeah, the movies. Yeah, I know.
Get the vaccine when it's available. I'm still trying to get my mind around getting that stuff put in my body.
Yeah. I'm gonna get it.
Nothing is going to be smooth.
Yeah. Well, anything the government does.
I think the Democrats. This is interesting stuff. I think the Democrats.
The air just popped on over my head.
To form, which I'm sure they will.
Because of my son.
I think they're going to try to screw this up. They don't want a vaccine. They don't want anything that's going to make things better. Certainly not until after the election.
I'm choking to death over here.
Are you all right?
No, we got to take a break. I'll be back.
You've heard Steve Kane talk about the great work and the incredible prices at Dr. Gupta's Brighton Dental. Richie the bus driver called Steve Kane on the air and told him about his experience at Brighton Dental.
Good morning. I have
needed
to
a
talk
drink.
about Brighton Dental because your sponsor is a miracle worker. I broke my tooth. I fractured it and it went backwards in my
throat
mouth.
was dry.
My front top tooth. I put it back into the socket. It felt like it was falling out. I had pain.
After talking for 2.5 hours.
And I was going to a wedding in New York 2 days later. And I said, what am I going to do? You know?
The air conditioning pops on. And every time the air conditioning pops on over my head, it causes my nasal strip. Yeah, that's why I wear those nasal strips. But see, I cut my nose on my nasal strip.
The man sat and worked on my tooth.
And the nasal drip makes you cough.
Put a pin in it. Put it back in place. I could eat anything I want. He said it was temporary. He did such a great job. It feels like permanent. I have no pain. I can eat anything I want now. And the fact of the matter, this is what really was unbelievable. I was getting on the bus to go to the reception, okay, in New York City.
All better now.
I was in New York. The phone rings. Who do you think's on the line?
Dr. Gupta.
Right. He wants to see if everything is going okay and if I'm in any pain. The guy is unbelievably wonderful. I mean, thank you so much. I wouldn't have been able to eat. I wouldn't have been able to go. I would have looked like a pumpkin.
Everybody needs a great dentist, and of course, for you Steve Kane listeners, you have
No,
one.
it rips the
Dr.
skin off. It ripped the skin off my nose, so I didn't wear it.
Brighton Dental. He takes really good care of you. He's very conscientious. He's, dentistry is an art when you stop and you think about it. And Dr. Gupta certainly is an artist, and we're so pleased to have him with us.
Yeah, I just wanted them to know if you need a dentist, and the guy is so good at what he does, he's so gentle, and I mean, I don't like dentists. This guy is this top shelf, and I'm going down to him to get it permanently put in, but right now, I don't have any pain. I can eat anything I want. Incredible.
Take Richie the bus driver's advice and go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. Call 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
I'm all better.
Search for W.
All right, I'm all better now, Steve. Oh my gosh, I was. Well, the air conditioning popped on above my head and started my post-nasal drip thing going on. Yeah, and I started coughing and choking from the nasal drip. And of course, everyone in the chat room says, COVID, Brian's got the COVID now. Post-nasal drip from the air conditioner. And I just had to have a couple of swigs of something to drink.
Just before you with the farm there.
Yeah.
Nobody's talked about this, but
The vaccine? Yeah.
The Democrats are going to do everything they can to sabotage it. Everything they can.
To slow it down. And well, you already see Fauci already discounting its effectiveness before it's even come out. And he's done it all week. Well, he's pissed off that Trump brought in that new doctor.
Charles Evans.
Yeah, he's awesome. Every time, like yesterday in the press conference, Trump must have kept looking over at him and saying things to him. Every time he says something to Dr. Atlas, what Trump is really saying is F you to Fauci. He hates Fauci. He's pissed at Fauci. And, I don't know much about Atlas.
Upfront about it. You can't be too upfront about it on the air.
Yeah. He's going to be gone after the election. There's no, and the press know he's going to be gone too. The bookies are. Listen, there was Trump had the White House press corps showed that they know Trump is going to win last week. Something happened earlier this week. Trump had a press conference and they were talking about the G7 meeting or I don't know, whichever one of those G meetings they do. And a reporter asked him if they were going to have an in-person meeting before the end of the year. And Trump said, and he went into a long explanation about this. He says, no, I've instructed my staff to set that up for after the election. And then he says, I will be meeting with the G7 after the election. I'm not sure if we'll do it in person or video or some on video and some in person. And no one in the press says, well, wait a minute. The polls show that you're not. The press knows the polls are fake. It was a tell.
Tax cut that he's giving is contingent upon his winning the presidency.
And he said permanent. The permanent payroll tax cut. I heard permanent yesterday. That's huge.
After I'm elected, assuming I'm elected, he said.
You know, to the average, like say, you know, I'll use Walmart workers as an example. Not that there's anything wrong, but Walmart workers don't make a lot an hour. To a Walmart worker, that payroll tax is like getting a raise of $50 to $75 a week. It adds up. You know, it's a couple $100 a month. And that's a lot of, Nancy Pelosi and these Democrats are so rich and out of touch. They don't understand that $50 a week makes a difference in people's lives. They don't get it.
Have you heard any of the Democrats imply that he's trying to bribe voters for their vote?
Well,
tax them if he's elected?
Well, I guess that they're aware of that tactic. They use it themselves so often, at least promise. Nancy Pelosi wanted to suspend the payroll tax a couple of times when Obama was president. Now all of a sudden, Social Security will collapse if you do it. I'm calling up Richard Pearl, Steve, just so you know.
Oh, okay. We're buying time here. My engineer is here. Everything is going perfectly. You've done a great job.
Oh, yeah. It's been a great 2 weeks in your new studio today. It's 2 complete weeks.
It's changed my life, no question.
It sounds great. I mean, you can't tell. I listen on the radio on the way in. You cannot tell you're not with me.
And the ability to do the show out of my house has extended the future of the Steve Kane Show for decades.
Decades? Oh, my gosh. Well, you never know. With hormone replacement pellet therapy, decades is doable. All right, I got Richard Pearl on the line, Steve, from Simply Natural with the health report. Hey, Richard Pearl.
How are things up at Simply Natural? Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
What do you?
Great. I mean, people are starting to realize and recognize that they're in control of their health, and this virus is dying down, and it's time to move on. Time to get control of your life and to be well. And so many of the people who listen to your show come to the store and they think there's a lot of things people could take to be. If they cut out the dairy, these are some of the things that would make a dramatic impact on their health. It's very easy to make yourself improve in some fashion. So
let me ask you, Richard, because there's when I was growing up, I used to hear this thing. I don't believe in vitamins, right? You hear that all the time, which we call supplements now. And I'm a big user of supplements, and I have been for over 20 years, and they've changed my life. But somebody that comes over to Simply Natural that they're not using any supplements, they may not even take a daily vitamin. What's the first thing you do that you would recommend or do with a new customer that comes in that's not taking any supplements and never has in their life?
Well, I would find out first what their, how their health is, what they're taking medicine-wise, and other things, and to see if I could do something that would enhance what they're doing. But just in general, everybody needs vitamin D. If everybody took vitamin D, it would change their life. The people with the highest levels of vitamin D in their blood live the longest. So I would do cause mortality. The people who have the D have the least amount of that. I would do that, and I'd do probiotics. Because probiotics affect 90% of your cells, or
Well, let me tell you, because we're running out of time, Richard Pearl, but I'll tell you, probiotics I started taking probiotics a couple of years back, and I noticed I don't get, now this is before the COVID era, okay? I didn't get sick as often as I used to when I started probiotics, and I heard about probiotics for years, and they're life-changing. Listen, Richard Pearl, his store is called Simply Natural. It's located in Sunrise, just north of Sunset Strip, on the east side of University. They're open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. That includes Sundays. That's one of those 7 days. The number is 954-741-4045, 954-741-4045. And his radio show, Pearls of Health, is on our radio stations Saturday and Sundays at noon. All right, Richard Pearl, we will talk next week. Okay. Thank you. All right. I'm still choking from the air conditioner popped on just again, Steve, so I apologize. If you hear me choking and coughing and hacking, it's the air conditioner. I used to make fun of you for that, and now it's happening to me. It's where I'm sitting. It's where I just happen to be standing under the AC vent, like you used to do. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so you're not going to go to the movies, is what you were telling me in the last segment.
I didn't say that. I'm wrestling with it. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a ton of stuff out telling you why you shouldn't go to the movies, that it represents a danger.
Well, I'll tell you one reason not to. I was watching on YouTube a video the other day, and a guy went to a movie theater that's closed down because of COVID, and he gave a tour of the movie theater with the lights on during the day. Oh my goodness. It was the filthiest place I've ever seen in my life. Yeah.
Have to do some renovating
Steve Kane
before they
Show.
open it up. But even then, I'm wondering.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you got an air conditioning system. You don't know what's in.
You know, the thing with the movies, I don't go to the movies very often. Maybe once a year, maybe. You know, anytime. I used to, but, you know, I got my TV's nice at home. I got a sound bar for the stereo sound, and I just enjoy watching the movies at home. They come on demand so quick, and now they're coming home now because there's no theaters. They're doing theatrical releases at home now for everything, and it's just, I don't know. It's, to me, unless there's like a Star Wars movie that I can't wait a couple, you know, months to see, I think movie theaters are dead in America. I think it's over.
We're going to be able to say one way or the other till it happens.
No, they got to reopen first. All right, let's.
Some time for people to get back into it. But
Yeah.
I know people who love movies love to go.
I'll tell you one thing I wouldn't do is I wouldn't get the popcorn because they put their thing in the popcorn all day.
Get the popcorn. Oh my God! Yeah.
Well, their hand with the, you know.
I thought you said their thing.
Yeah. Not well. Okay. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hi, Brian. It's Rick. I got a question for you guys. I know that legally Biden is not obligated to debate Trump, but do you think it is in his best interest to try to avoid that as much?
Yes.
What I hear from the commentators is that Biden's gotten away with a lot up till now, but if he tried to back out of the debates, it would cost him the election.
I don't think he's going to debate him. He's not going to debate him. He's only saying that. He's only saying. I'm going to tell. It's been in the news a little bit lately. COVID-19, and I'll tell you what's going on here with Biden. Okay, he's saying that he's going to do to the debate. I'm trying to tell you. Well, I'm telling it shouldn't, but it will. He's only saying he's going to debate to get through the convention. When the convention's over and he has the nomination, you're going to see he won't even take questions from liberal reporters. And at these things this week, how's he going to be up there with Trump?
So, Brian, I kind of feel somewhat what you're saying. It reminds me of like someone that's accused of a crime that chooses not to get on the stand because of what
might incriminate themselves.
Say that they can't make that anything. How are they going to justify? I mean, you say with the COVID situation, It's got to be more specific than that. What are they going to...
I'll tell you. Jill Biden said it the other day when Jill Biden had that suck-up interview done by Dana Perino. Oh, Dr. Biden, what's your favorite color? What is it like being you? And she's like auditioning for a job. But she did ask her about Biden staying home, Dana Perino. And Jill Biden said, well, we're just following, doctors say, shelter in place, and we're just following doctors' orders.
What about having the two of them in a studio with a...
He's not even going to his own convention, Steve, to do a victory lap. Either does the convention speech. He's not going to debate Trump. I'm telling you, he's not. Yesterday when he made that announcement about masks, he could barely get it out.
Lesser of two evil things, that it's better to take the flak and endure the damage is not debating would cause.
Yes.
But I don't, it would be big damage. I mean, Americans can...
Yeah, go ahead.
That's the question, Steve, is whether he would so damage his credibility by not debating that it would cost him votes, or
yes,
is it better for him to just not debate and just allow people to vote on what they think would be the issues or what they like about him or don't like about him? I think he has a lot.
Which would damage him more, not doing it or being up there like Admiral Stockdale? Where am I? Who am I? What am I?
Debating could potentially damage him more. The question, as Steve said, is the pressure going to be too great for him to resist?
I've heard a couple of people on the various shows address that issue, and everybody that's commented on it says that he cannot afford. Oh, this is a double negative. That's not good grammar. But he cannot afford not to do it. He can't. I mean, I think the damage would be...
But him standing... Steve, with the call, I think you're making a great point, caller. You're right about that damage and how bad it would be, but would the damage be worse if he went up there and forgot who he was?
He probably has to look at what he's like.
He's had two events in 2 days, right? Kamala Harris and yesterday. Both of them, at the end, he was out of gas. And he was up there for a short time reading the teleprompter and he was out of gas. Can he sit up there for 2 hours during a debate?
It's going to be very interesting. Before I go, another quick question. I have a couple of Israeli friends that swear that Israel has provided the vaccine to Trump, but he will not release it.
Yeah. Yes. The static is on his end, on his phone, not yours. Will they hold the vaccine back till after the election if they can? I said they would very much like to do that, I think. I don't know.
Face to face.
Yeah. There's so many people involved in a process like that. One little guy with a test tube could, I can't get my work done in time. I need more time. It only take, you know what I mean? There's a million people working on this.
After all is said and done, basically, we know there's going to be, I mean, it may not be here on the day of the election, but we know they're going to be even closer than they are now, and that's on the verge. If the announcement comes the day before the election that the product will be ready to distribute in 3 weeks, that's as good as a win as far as the election goes.
Yeah, that would certainly help. I'll tell you what's a big win, Steve. That's the medals. No, well, we're going to find out because it's that time. It's that time. That was my clever lead-in to you doing the introduction. Yeah.
Great response we're having. It's also the listener's high point of the show. The Gold Report brought to you by William Youngerman of William Youngerman, Inc. William has been advising clients on trends and movements in the gold and precious metals markets for over 50 years. over 15 of those on this daily feature we have on the Steve Kane Show. So to find out what is happening, let's check in with William Youngerman. William, how is it looking this morning?
Looking good, Steve. The markets are holding very well. Yesterday we saw gold rally back to $1,952.80 on the close. That was up $38.90. Silver a whopping up $2.03 yesterday at $27.49 on the close, with platinum up $27 at $9.48.
Yes.
And palladium up $39 at $2,047.
No, it sounds good.
A little bit of a pullback this morning.
I know, it does sound good.
Profit taking, but gold still remaining nicely above that $1,900.
Yeah, no, you can't tell.
Down $6.46 right now at $1,946.60. So a little bit of a pullback, giving us a little bit of a buy.
That was the station.
Today.
Operations
Silver down
manager.
68 cents at $26.80 after that $2 gain yesterday. Platinum unchanged at $9.48. And palladium down $1 right now at $2,046. So the market's doing very well, holding nicely into these levels, which should help to solidify these gains that we've seen over the last couple of months. And that should propel the metals much higher as we go forward.
You get a feeling, and when you follow it as closely as you do, William, and a lot of us do, you get a feeling they're building a new base here. It's very strong. It doesn't really go down too much, and we're establishing a new, what do they call it, a new bottom? Or a new...
baseline?
Yeah,
a new...
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Right. No, go. A new trading range at least, and that seems to be for gold at least right now around $1,940 support level, with a resistance up at our older our high, which was around 1975 December contract. So that's a good trading range, and it won't take much to push it through to new highs.
All right. Well, by the way, I never asked you this. How do you think the election is going to affect the market short term?
It's a good question, but I think no matter who gets in, we're going higher. You know.
Really?
Yep.
A win-win situation. I like that.
Yep.
But so anyway, a good day.
The fundamentals basically support gold to go much higher, and that is you're either plinking us out of this recession, or you're going to tax the money away from people, and one way or the other, people are going to go to shelter their money, and that's going to be the oldest real asset in history, and that's gold.
Well, today a good day to get to the shelter at William Youngerman, located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road. That's on the Bank of America in the Bank of America building, on the first floor, directly across from the bank. You can get William by phone. William, give him the phone number.
1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010.
And don't forget to check out that museum quality website at williamyoungerman.com. William, have a great weekend, and we will speak to you on Monday, all right?
Okay, have a great day.
Oh, boy. All right. All right, let's go to Jeff in Maine. You're on the radio.
Hey, Brian, I got an interesting take. I don't think they'll do the Biden-Trump debate in person. They'll do it remotely through cameras. Biden will have all the questions and answers, and he'll still be a buffoon's butt, and Trump could be blindfolded and no teleprompter and beat Biden. This side of heaven, they're going to let them debate.
I agree. There's not going to be a debate. It's not going to happen. He's only saying that pre-convention. When the convention's over and he doesn't have the nomination firmed up yet.
The damage would be too great. I mean, it's a trade-off. It's a gamble.
That's true.
But in my opinion, I think that would turn a lot of people off.
Steve Kane Show.
If it became clear that Biden couldn't even try to bluff through a debate with Trump, I think that would he'd lose people in the middle, a lot of them.
I thought you were right, Steve, until they didn't take questions from their liberal media friends the last 2 days, because he's not able to think on his feet anymore.
Ran out the door when he's finished.
Yeah.
His limo stage. It's an embarrassment, but that's why I just don't believe the odds. I just don't believe it.
That's another reason Trump's doing these press conferences every day. He's getting tough questions, and they're hiding out.
And they're pointing out that he's always done that. That Trump has never hidden from tough questions.
Yeah.
And Biden's afraid to take them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Groundwork for some negative response.
Hey, Jeff and Maine, you're a Christian guy. You're a religious guy. Are you going to church these days?
Oh, yes, sir.
You go to how crowded is your church on Sunday?
Very sporadic. People are still afraid to come out. We're not wearing masks, but we're doing the social distancing.
In church?
Yeah.
What about in the praise music?
No, we're still singing.
Really? Live music and everything? Oh, wow.
I go to two churches. I go to two churches, and one we do an evening meal for the homeless and street people every Monday through Friday, and they have to come to the door and we pass them the food. We can't even let them inside, and it's really sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Times when you in some of the fundamentalist churches that I've been to, it gets pretty exuberant. Especially the music part. So I don't know.
I wonder what if any to our. I haven't been to mass during any of this, but to our Catholics out there, if someone, I just want one call on this. What's going on in Catholic Mass so far as Holy Communion? The whole Mass is about communion. Has communion been suspended? Are people still doing it? I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever take communion again. I really don't, and that's a pretty sad thing.
It would be too tough to produce a product that would get you through communion.
They need to have some kind of dispenser, like a machine that dispenses the body of Christ. Yeah, sealed communion.
What does your church do?
They have pre-packaged ones, and the very top is a wafer. You open that, and then you open up another part, and it's the grape juice.
Yeah, but in the Catholic Church, you're not drinking grape juice and you're not having a cracker. You're having the body and the blood of Christ, and it has to be handled in a certain way. And you can't put the body and blood of Christ in a cellophane package. It has to be. There's very strict rules in the Catholic Church about how you handle it.
You're religious. It's not the cracker and the.
It's not a cracker. It's the body of Christ.
Not actually the body of Christ.
That is actually the body of Christ. If you're Catholic, it is. If you're Catholic, it is. If you're Catholic, it is. All right, Jeff.
Promoting abortion, for crying out loud.
Yes.
But sealed wafers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sealed wafer way of getting an abortion?
No. I thought abortions were kind of out with all these medications people take now, right? Those abortion pills. I thought surgical abortions I thought were out. They just get the prescription now, don't they? I don't know.
Don't forget the people promoting abortion. It's a business, and the money is not in the pills.
That's for sure. I noticed this the other day. I'll tell you. You can look for this, Steve. Donna Brazil on the 5. This week she moved. She redecorated the house. She does her. She's on there remotely, and she's been doing this all for the whole crisis. And she's been in this living room with her little lap dog that looks like it was decorated from Pier 1 Imports. And this week, she's in a different part of her house, and she has African masks on the wall behind her. And I think people thought in her circle that her living room was looking too Caucasian. So now she's got these African masks on the wall behind her anytime she's on Fox. I don't know if you've noticed that. You'll notice it now that I mentioned it, because she's looking too white. All right, let's take another call. You're on the radio. Good morning.
How you doing, Brian and Sal?
Hey.
Springs.
Oh, yes.
Hey,
so.
Hey, hi. Yeah, how you doing, Steve? Listen, I think Steve was right yesterday when he said Trump's got to do better with his little afternoon presses. I saw an incredible montage yesterday where they played two of his press conferences back to back. You could tell they were the same because he had on different ties. He said the exact same thing in both those press conferences. You got to see that.
Well, had the facts changed about coronavirus? Should he be saying something different? What did he say that was the same thing? Well, what was something that he repeated? Give me one of the things he said. Hey, Al, we're almost out of time. Earlier in the show, Richie the bus driver called in. He called you a dirtbag. You have any comment on that?
I'll get him tomorrow.
On Saturday? We're not on the air tomorrow live. No, I mean, he called you a dirtbag earlier on the show, Richie the bus driver.
Everybody, but that's Richie's spiel. That's Richie's spiel. You know him. Come on, that's his spiel.
What does that mean? Oh, you haven't thought of an answer yet, so you need the weekend to think it over?
No, Richie's like a snowflake. When you put too much truth on him, he starts to melt. It's natural. It's expected.
Well, I haven't heard you take issue with it. Are you a dirtbag? I haven't heard you deny it.
Well, I don't. I think you and I, even though we don't.
He still hasn't denied it, Steve. So you think you're a dirtbag? Interesting.
We have pretty decent conversations, even though we don't agree politically.
Yeah.
Guy you said was you didn't like talking?
No, that was Tony. This is Liberal Al from Coral Springs, and he's not usually like this. He's usually nasty, and yeah, he's a very good caller. He's a good caller, Liberal Al. But Richie calls him a dirtbag. Some other callers have suggested we ban him for life from the program. Yeah.
You would be shocked to know how much we have in common if you really took a chance.
Really? Are you a white guy that has a black daughter?
Quite the opposite.
Oh, what do you mean?
I'm just the opposite. But
you're a black guy with a white daughter?
Have you ever been to the Star Trek?
He's looking to get off the. No, answer that question.
Have I been to the Star Trek what?
Have you been to the Las Vegas?
Unfortunately, no, and it no longer is in existence, and I'll never get to see that. But listen, if we talk about Star Trek for more than 10 seconds, Steve will kill me. We're out of time.
Thank you for joining us, and we will be back on Monday. On behalf of our technical director, Tyler Kane, my partner, Brian Craig, I am yours truly, Steve Kane. Until Monday, God bless America.
Does your life insurance policy only pay someone if you die? The new life insurance policies allow you to access your benefits even while you are still alive. Due to changes in the insurance industry, all life insurance carriers in 2020 have adjusted their premiums to your advantage. Life insurance rates have been lowered due to the updated mortality tables. People are living longer in America, and that means life insurance premiums are lower. Call Debbie and Dan at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080 to learn more and for a free review of your existing life insurance policy. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. You've seen the ads on TV, and you've heard your friends tell you about MyPillow. MyPillow is guaranteed the most comfortable pillow you will ever own. Right now at MyPillow.com, when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, buy one MyPillow, get one for free. But you have to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com for this incredible offer. Buy one MyPillow, get another one free. Go to MyPillow.com right now. Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
95.3 FM.
All right, guys, take care. Listen, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, all right? I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.